stress management plan for PE 183. In this video, I will be outlining my comprehensive stress management plan. The aim of this stress management plan is to help help manage routine stressors, as well as learning to cope with large and unique stressors. Another part of it is to manage my physical and emotional health in the sort of aftermath of a stressor, and to create hopefully some sustainable change that allows me to live a happier, healthier life in the very stressful world that we live in. Okay? So for starters, my stress management plan is heavily based on what I do in therapy every week. I have borderline personality disorder, so I've incorporated a lot of DBT therapy techniques into this plan. So in order to in order to help cope with routine everyday stressors, something I've learned in DBT is to create pro and con list, as well as pro negative and negative lists. So it's a method that we use to essentially go over every possible avenue that we have, and it helps make decisions. So if I'm stressed over work or I'm stressed over school and I don't know what to do, I'll make a pro and a con list, and it will help me to see a little bit more clearly. Another tactic I have is making sure that my physical health is in tip-top condition by exercising and feeding myself appropriately. I'm also working on making sure that I'm eating homemade healthy foods, so that does, require time and energy to meal prep, but I just have to spend less time on my phone, and I'll find that time. Managing everyday stressors is something that's very difficult for me, and I tend to overreact about a lot of things. So one of the things that I've noticed that I overreact on a lot is when somebody does something that I don't like at work, and maybe they get upset at me or I get upset at them. It tends to create a lot of hostility. So a way that I've worked on that is by turning off any and all work group chats while I'm at home, turning off my pager system so I don't see what calls they're on. I am pretty much, when I'm not at work, I'm not at work. I am not involved with work when I'm at home, and I am not involved with anything that has to do with anybody at my job. So essentially, I am putting a very firm boundary that I am not involved in work when I am not at work. To manage the unique stressors, it's a lot more difficult to come up with coping strategies for that, but some of them are derived from DBT, which is like negative self, some of them are derived from DBT, which helps with the negative self-talk in the aftermath, okay? For managing those unique, once-in-a-while stressors, I have developed a system of sort of stop. Well, it is actually called the STOP system in DBT, but it's STOP, and it stands for stop is the first letter, T is think, O is observe, and P is prevent. So what that means is stop, basically you're not going to have a reaction, you're just going to stop and think. And T is you're going to think about what the stressor is. O is you're going to observe the reactions of everybody in the room and everybody in your life to this stressor. And then P is you're going to prevent yourself from flipping out. So that's what I've been using to manage those unique, very, very, very difficult stressors that I come around with. My biggest issue is in the aftermath of a stressor, I tend to become very depressed. By managing the initial stress, it's been incredible, because the aftermath is now not me lying on the couch crying, but me kind of just moving on with my life. Especially with the whole leaving work at work and staying home at home, that's made my mental health so much more, because I'm not involved in the day-to-day drama that goes on there, and I'm just I come in, I do my job, I leave. I'm there for a paycheck and nothing else. Thank you for coming to my comprehensive stress management plan. It was wonderful speaking with y'all. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Goodbye.